everybody, welcome back to Baking with Rose Hill Sourdough. I'm Mike, and today I'm really excited to teach you one of my absolute favorite sourdough discard recipes, sourdough waffles. So we've got 200 grams of sourdough discard here, and I'm just gonna put that into a translucent round here. This is by Cambro. These are some of my favorite baking bowls here. To that, I'm going to add 315 grams of buttermilk. And to that, I'm going to add 25 grams of maple syrup. I'm just gonna give that a stir before I add my flour. Great, now that I've got that all stirred up, I'm just gonna add my flour, and this is 200 grams of all-purpose flour. And that's it, that's all we're doing for today. Now this recipe is an overnight recipe, so I'm gonna start this right now and let it sit out overnight on my countertop just to ferment off that flour. All right, so I made this earlier. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get my waffle iron plugged in so it's nice and hot. This part of the process goes really fast. The waffle batter comes together really quickly. So I find that plugging my waffle iron in lets it get up to temperature pretty quickly while I'm mixing up the batter, and I'm able to just fry off some waffles right away. So I'm gonna go do that. All right, so in the morning, all I'm gonna be adding to this batter is some eggs, butter, baking soda, baking powder, and salt. Cool, so I'm just gonna whisk up those 2 eggs. So I've got 40 grams of melted butter here. I'm just gonna add to the eggs. If the butter's still warm, you wanna add that in kind of slowly and stir while you do it. Make sure you get all the butter out of there. I'm going to add half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I like to use both baking soda and baking powder here. Baking soda will give you that initial rise as it mixes with the acid, but the baking powder is really cool. So baking powder is a mix of baking soda, which is a base, and acid, usually like cream of tartar, and a starch that kind of wraps everything up. And it doesn't start its acid base reaction to give you that CO2 until it hits liquid. So that's what you're seeing actually in this bowl happening right now, but it also happens when it hits heat. That's why it's called a twice acting baking powder. And I'm gonna bring over my sourdough batter from last night. I'm just gonna pour that all in. I'm just gonna go ahead and mix that and gently fold in that butter and egg mixture, because I don't want to really disturb all of that CO2 and degas this thing too much. Remember, it's been sitting out all night and building all that really lovely structure and building all those gases, and that's what's gonna give us a really, really fluffy waffles. So I'm not gonna be too aggressive here. I'm just gonna kind of fold in that butter and egg mixture until it looks nice and evenly mixed. It's looking pretty good here. Depending on your waffle iron, this might take 2 to 4 minutes. What I like to do is I'll make a batch of waffles, and then I will also have my oven set to like 200 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 100 degrees Celsius. And what I'll do is I'll take them out and I'll put them in there just to kind of stay warm and get crispy. Depending on the heat of your waffle iron, you really have to kind of dial in your right cooking setting on these, the temperature and the cook time. These cook pretty perfectly in about 4 minutes in this waffle iron, but like I said, it just depends on yours. So my waffle iron is ready to go, and you can tell because there's a bunch of steam that comes off the top of it as soon as I open it up. It is ready to roll. So I'm gonna do 3 scoops of this batter. Like I said, it's gonna be dependent on your waffle iron that you've got. I've got a nice sizzle on the top of those, and the smell is just incredible. Cool, just gonna spread that out just a little bit. And then check this out, as soon as I close this, it's gonna come probably rushing out the front, depending on how well I did there with how much I dosed this waffle iron with. Yeah, there it goes. But you can also see the waffle iron puffing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take a peek and see how we're looking here. Oh, those are beautiful. So typically what I'll do is get a cooling rack and just like make these over and over and over again and kind of put them in the oven. They're feeling a little bit underdone, but they're feeling really crispy and just looking ready to go. So now you just repeat the process. Waffles, 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 toss them in the oven to stay warm. And when you're ready to eat, you plate them up. Now, I've got a second recipe I wanna show you really quick. It is so simple, but it's going to elevate these waffles like crazy. It's my wife's famous cinnamon maple syrup whipped cream, and it's so simple to make. I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. I'm gonna put about a pint of heavy whipping cream. To that I'm gonna add a few tablespoons of maple syrup. This is maybe a 1/4 cup at the most. If you like it sweeter, add more. If you don't like it as sweet, don't add as much. And then a few dashes of cinnamon. And that's it. It's so simple. All right, my whipped cream is done, and I can tell because it is nice and thick and creamy, and tastes absolutely amazing. All right, so let's get this whipped cream out of this bowl. All right, let's plate up. So we've got our waffles, and I'm just gonna rip these here. I like whipped cream on waffles. I know some people are butter people on waffles. That's fine, go with butter. Berries are in season right now. We got some nice blueberries, some local blueberries here, so I'm just gonna throw those on. And then absolutely no waffle would be complete without a healthy dosing of maple syrup. All right, I've got my fork, and these look amazing. Just gonna dig in. These will quickly become a family favorite, just like they become in my family. We make them every single year for my daughter's birthday. We make them for all major holidays, Thanksgiving morning, Christmas morning, whatever's going on, we're making waffles. These are the waffles that we're making. Because they're so good. Oh my gosh, make these please. Hashtag make the waffles. They are amazing. See you here next time at Rose Hill Sourdough. If you like what you see, please consider a follow at Rose Hill Sourdough on Instagram, and also right here on YouTube. Go ahead and like this video and subscribe to more videos. And also, please let me know in the comment section if you need anything from me, if you have any questions about this recipe or other recipes, let me know. And I will see you guys back here really soon at Rose Hill Sourdough in the Rose Hill Sourdough test kitchen. Thanks. Talk to you soon. Bye.